Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back to another episode of Sondik and Mengel. As you can see, we are not in our normal studio. It is under renovation. We'll be back there as soon as possible. A lot has gone on in the sports world since we last saw you, especially the death of Kobe Bryant and 9 others that were aboard a helicopter in Calabasas on Sunday. Billions worldwide around the world have shown their support and being there for the Bryant family. Grant, what was your initial reaction to this tragic news?
I mean, at first, I think I was just in complete shock. I didn't believe it. TMZ was the first media source to put it out there, so
lack of credibility.
Exactly. I didn't believe it at first, but once it started to settle in and more reports started coming out, it was just devastation.
Yeah.
Not only especially for Vanessa Bryant and the daughters, the close family friends, even the other 7 people on the helicopter had family, friends too. And I mean, this is a moment in the sports world that as a super sports fan like myself, I'm going to remember exactly where I was and when it happened for the rest of my life, I think.
Yeah. I always remember where I was. I mean, literally getting out of a UConn basketball game and just getting a text, and it's like, I just feel like guys like you grow up idolizing these guys and no, they're not supposed to die.
They're Superman.
They're Superman, and Kobe he was that to so many people and opponents, teammates, guys around the league, guys around the world were just heartbroken because the impact is the phrase "bigger than basketball" has never been more prevalent in this case. He paved the way.
He transcended the game, and you see athletes of all sorts reaching out, and just celebrities in general reaching out.
I mean, if you watch his last game, he was your favorite celebrity's favorite player.
Yeah,
you had Ye, Jay-Z, Jack Nicholson. You had A-list celebrities there, not to see anyone else. Clifford was on that team. Roy Hibbert was on that team, man. They were there to see Kobe, and he just took the city and put it on his back for 20 years.
Yeah, he was Los Angeles for the entirety of his career.
Whatever comparison you want to make, Jeter to New York, that was him.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just tough.
Yeah. So then, what's your personal connection to Kobe Bryant? What makes him so special to you?
I guess growing up a Celtics fan and just having him rip my heart out, especially in 2010, I remember watching that whole series, and he just kind of had that. He refused to lose, especially after the Celtics beat him in 2008, and I had to respect it in a way, because after his career, I really started to respect him, because, I'm kind of the same way with LeBron. Great player, appreciate his greatness, but it sucks when he always beats your team. And I felt connected to Kobe because, he won, but he did it with grace. And, he was kind of, you've heard the comparisons, he was an artist, and on the court, those moves, regardless of who he got them from, he looked great doing it. And he was there my whole basketball childhood. We grew up watching him. So, yeah, I just feel connected just because when he owns your team for so long, you feel. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've been playing basketball my whole life, so he's one of those guys that you look up to and you say, I want to do what he does. I'm out there practicing his little turnaround fadeaway in the driveway. The Mamba mentality was such a big aspect of what he was.
Yeah.
I wanted to go out there and just be the stone cold killer that he was. I wanted to be, give me the ball, take the last shot. You always dream of that. So, I mean, he was the perfect embodiment of all of that. I mean, even you're in school, you're shooting into a trash can yelling Kobe.
You yell Kobe.
Just the pop culture impact that he had too.
There's people out there before this, I have friends I know and people out there, and it's not the craziest thing, but some people think he's the best basketball player to ever walk the earth.
Yeah. I mean,
there's an argument. I don't think it's take your pick, but I see it just because the guy was locked in every night he was on the court.
Yeah, he gave 100% every night, blood, sweat, and tears his whole career, and that's all you can ask for out of a star player like that.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think the league does moving forward?
I mean, we
We're
kind
at a
of
weird spot in the season.
Yeah, we kind of already see a little bit of what's happening. A lot of guys are changing their jersey numbers, like Spencer Dinwiddie. He's changing to 26 out of respect for the number 8. Some players like Larry Markkinen are going to continue to wear 24 out of respect. And I
think PG mentioned he's going to flip to
24,
which is cool because the ambiguity of how to honor him, you can't really go wrong. because you can honor him and wear the number or change it to honor him. So I kind of like how different guys are doing different things because everyone grieves differently.
And then the Mavericks just retired the number completely.
Which I respect.
think that's a class act from Mark Cuban.
And like my radical idea is like, I think the whole league should retire 24. I mean,
I don't think you can do both numbers though.
No.
Yeah.
But I just remember him. I mean, I remember him more as 24. Like he went out as 24, and like retiring 2 numbers is like, it's hard. I don't think they could be. I don't know if they'll be able to pull off either of them. But I don't know.
And then All-Star Weekend, we see the new format for the All-Star game, where they're gonna play the first 3 quarters, reset the score, and play it to 24 basically, just in honor of him in the 4th quarter.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would have preferred them to do 8 and 24 jerseys.
That like, I don't know, something about seeing the guy's number on the back, and like I get reminded of the Jose Fernandez thing, and seeing everyone wear his name and number was just like so cool.
Yeah.
Like that means that looks like more than anything. Like
I've also really appreciated the 8-second, 24-second violations, and then shout out to the UConn women's team for leaving a jersey for Gianna Bryant too. She always wanted to come play at UConn, so she was going to be a big part of the program they were hoping someday.
Yeah, it's just like ironic because like you're rooting for turnovers and like.
Yeah.
You're gonna look at the box score and the
Someone's
play-by-play, and you're gonna be like, "Why did both teams like do that?" And I don't know. A turnover became so much more than a turnover.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
the whole crowd would just get up and nonstop cheer for 24 seconds straight, basically.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah. So you saw him play for 15, 20 years. What was your favorite Kobe Bryant moment or moments?
There's just a handful. I mean, the dagger against Phoenix and if a fist pump could like shake the earth like it did, but a moment that sticks out to me, and I'm reading more into it now, is like when he played crazy defense on Curry in a preseason game, and like Curry just drained it in his face, and the little like tap on the butt he gave. That just kind of spoke volumes to me because like that was just like a game respect game, and like that was before Curry was even like great, but he just knew, and like I don't know, that just spoke to me, and speaks to me even more now, and the countless game winners, like I don't know, there's too many to pick.
Yeah.
What about you?
I've got a few. I mean, his last game will always stick with me, and I think it'll carry a greater importance now. I mean, you dropped 60 in your last game. That just sticks with me. The other one, 2009 Lakers Heat. Bryant Wade back and forth all game, down 2, just banks in a 3 off 1 foot to win the game as time expires. I remember I didn't watch it live, but I woke up and saw it on SportsCenter the next morning, and I thought that was the coolest shot ever.
Because like on D Wade.
Yeah, those are two of the biggest names in the game at the time, and just
doing it,
ice in his veins, just Kobe being Kobe at his best. And then the last one for me, the Achilles tear when he goes and shoots the free throws.
Yeah,
that's tough.
That's not supposed to. Like guys aren't supposed to be built like that. Like you tear your whole Achilles, like you're not supposed to be able to walk and more like just keep playing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He wanted to go back out there. And shoot the free throws,
nothing was stopping him.
In case he wanted to go back into the game after that.
Yeah.
Toughness, Mamba mentality.
Exactly.
Credit where credit's due. One of the best out there.
100%.
Yeah.
So what do you think he leaves behind for the future? A loaded question, because
there's a lot of ways you could take it.
Yeah.
For me, Kobe left behind the next generation of basketball players. The way he's impacted so many players, Trae Young, DeMar DeRozan, Devin Booker, Giannis. Kobe's gone, but we're going to see his game in many different ways and forms in the future. And I also think he leaves behind women's basketball in a better place too. With Gianna, he was starting to pay a lot more attention to the WNBA, speak out for them. Like Sabrina Ionescu, he was great friends with her.
And you saw how choked up she got because like it's just his impact. If you think it wasn't there, it was everywhere. Like you had Neymar in like 20, like doing the 24 after he scored a goal, like a mural in the Philippines. I've never seen someone so like worldwide.
Yeah,
like he was just guy was just built different.
Like we said, legends are remembered forever, and that's going to be Kobe.
Yeah,
just year after year, there's going to be something to remind you of him.
Exactly. He was a hero, and just seeing his impact off the court made me respect him even more. Because like how close he was with his like daughters and how like well he was raising them, like I don't know, it breaks my heart, man.
Yeah, for sure. So everyone around the league will be playing with heavy hearts the rest of the season, including the upcoming 2020 NBA All-Star Game in the Windy City. The starters were announced last week. In the East, we have Trae Young, Kemba Walker, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Pascal Siakam, and Joel Embiid. And in the West, you'll have Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, and James Harden. So, Sondik, while all these players are undoubtedly all-stars, is there anyone that shouldn't be starting here?
I'm going to catch a lot of flack for this because he's so young and so great. But, like, I have difficulty starting Trae Young over, and this is also going to sound crazy, Kyle Lowry. I just feel like if your team is one of the worst in the league, and I know it's not his fault they're that bad. I understand, but it just doesn't look good. Like, Atlanta has no shot at the playoffs, haven't since mid-November, and it's just like all the Trae Young buckets are empty, and there's no doubt he's going to be an all-star because, holy crap, he's averaging 28 points a game in his second season. But they're empty buckets, and Kyle Lowry and those guys, they're still relevant. And a lot of people, including myself, wasn't sure how far they'd make it. And they're going to make the playoffs. And they're probably going to host it and host a first-round playoff series. So I think you just got to start Lowry over Trae. And I think Trae Young's better, but it just doesn't look right to me to see 10-30 Atlanta have a starter.
Yeah,
what about you?
I understand what you're saying, and I'll get into that more when we get into the snubs for the All-Star game, because that's a story for a few minutes from now. For me, I love the dude, I trust the process, but Joel Embiid should not be starting in this game. He's averaging 23 and 12, great stats on a good team, but he's missed 17 games.
It's a lot at this point in the season.
As a front court player, I think a better option would be Jimmy Butler. The Miami Heat are the second best team in the East right now.
Who saw that coming? Who saw that
He's
coming?
averaging 20.
He's the best player.
27 and 6 on the number 2 seed in the East. I think he needs to be in there and starting this game. Obviously, he made it as a reserve, but he should have been out there, especially in Chicago, coming back to where his career all started too.
Like,
I think
they love Jimmy in Chicago.
Yeah, you play into the storyline a little bit there. I think that would have been
for sure
cool.
However, this game is not necessarily East versus West. We're in the third year of a new draft format in which two captains, the two leading vote getters, one in each conference, school year pick their teams. Captain's pretty obvious this year. East, Giannis Antetokounmpo. West, number 23, LeBron James. If you're LeBron James, Grant, who are you picking first?
I'm taking Luka Doncic. I think if you go off of merit, he probably deserves to be the number 1 pick in this draft. But even just going off because my criteria, he's going to go out there, put on a show for the crowd, throw some mean lobs to LeBron, drop some dimes, some step back threes.
He'll be excited.
If you want entertaining on your side, that's your first pick right there.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't know. This is just so basic, but like his teammate, like Anthony Davis. I mean, you can make an argument that Anthony Davis is the best player in the world. I mean,
I'm not going to make that argument.
The guy's just dominant, and I don't think he's the best player in the world, but people can make the argument, and he's just the best he's the best. He's been their best player regardless of LeBron, like, doing what LeBron does. So I would take AD, but I get the Luka. I mean, you can't go wrong with these guys, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're all
top
great.
10 in the game
all great
this
players.
year.
Is there any combination of people you want to see together on the same team?
I'd be interested to see. I would like to see LeBron and Kawhi because, like, Kawhi, I mean, there's not much defense in the All-Star game, so. But seeing them contrast, like, we didn't get to see it because Kawhi went to the other LA team, and Lakers fans still up in arms about that. But we'd love to see that. What could have been? I mean, it would have won like 75 games. But what about you? I mean, LeBron, Kawhi screams.
A little different here. Trae Young and Anthony Davis. I just think that pick and roll would be unguardable, even in a real game, All-Star game. Trae Young's gonna pull from 30 feet, or you've got one of the best lob catchers in the league. So I mean, I think that's just unguardable. Yeah. Bright young point guard, one of the superior bigs in the league. I think it's great. So those 10 players will be on the court to start the game, but there's 14 other players, 7 from the East and West each, who found out tonight that they will be all-stars. Now that we've had a little bit of time to digest who's made the team for the reserves, who are some notable ones to you?
I mean, I just like seeing guys that are under the radar. Like Domantas Sabonis, like, if you don't watch basketball, like, you don't have any clue who the hell that guy is. And he's a bucket. And without Oladipo, he's been their best player, and they're a playoff team. I love seeing that. I love seeing Bam Adebayo. That Heat team is not as far as, like, they're far with Jimmy Butler. he's defying expectations already. He's an athletic freak. They gave him a little time last year, and now that Hassan Whiteside left, I knew right when he left, Adebayo was going to shine. So those guys in the East, I mean, in the West, I like seeing Russell Westbrook because pound for pound this year, you could argue he's the best player. That's unpopular. I mean, Harden's still averaging 36 a game, but he should make it every year, and it's refreshing knowing like he'll be there every year.
Yeah, I mean, if talking about Russell Westbrook, Kobe Bryant mentality, dude puts his heart on the court every single night.
Russell Westbrook is that guy that would die for the team.
He would. But for me, the notable Rudy Gobert, a year after crying because he didn't get in, he gets his chance. He gets his chance.
I mean, the Jazz are unheard of this year. They're 32-15, like
They're
insane.
Battling for a top 2 or 3 seed in the West right now. Very relevant.
I guess the Jordan Clarkson effect.
Jordan Clarkson effect. I think it might be the Donovan Mitchell effect, if anything.
Of course,
because he's also an all-star, balling out right now. So now that we're talking about the guys who have made the game, there's a few snubs out there. Who's your biggest snub?
I mean, come on, man. Devin Booker. Like, the Suns, this is their best year in a while. They still aren't good. Don't get me wrong. The guy is averaging 27 a game, man, and he makes them relevant. Aiden was out for 25 games throughout the season. Yeah. He was supposed to be a big part. And then you have, you have role players like Aaron Baines, male model Kelly Oubre. Like, you just have guys that are... You have an okay surrounding cast, but he makes them relevant. And the fact that he's not out there, I mean, Bradley Beal, 28 a game, where's he at? What about you? You got any more that I'm forgetting?
Oh, do I have any more? How about Chicago Bulls Zach LaVine? Single-handedly keeping the Bulls in the playoff discussion, relevant for the first time in 3 or 4 years, 25-5-4. 16 straight games over 20 points, averaged 30 on 50% shooting in the month of January. Guy's got to be there. Without 60% of his starting lineup right now, too. And they're 3 games out of the playoff spot, but they're right there. And for me, this is the part where I'm getting into the conversation. Basketball's a team game. I 100% get that. But All-Star votes, All-Star weekend, that's all about guys and their own achievements. I don't care if you're the 1 seed or you've won 5 games all year. The All-Star game is about you. And if you're averaging 30 a game like Bradley Beal, you deserve to be there. If you're averaging 25 a game, I don't care where you are in the standings, you deserve to be there. He should be there over a guy like Ben Simmons. Averaging 16, 8, and 7, or
on the 5th, 6th best team in the East.
I could see him there over Lowry even. I get that they're the 3rd seed, but that's, like I said, that's because his team's good. He has worse stats than LaVine, but his team's better, so he's in. I think the All-Star game should be about individual achievements.
Yeah, like, Brandon Ingram is having a hell of a year. It's not better than Devin Booker, and his team is not better.
That's a head scratcher to me.
That makes some sense. Also, I love Chris Paul.
It's been there 9 times before.
He's averaging like 16 a game.
Doesn't need that
on
kind
the
of time.
7th best team in the West.
So who should be there instead of him?
Devin Booker.
Devin Booker instead of him?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah. So you think Ingram deserves to be an All-Star too?
Yeah. I mean, 25 a game. Like, if we're going to make that argument for LaVine and Beal, like, we're going to make it for Ingram. And he's been there. Like, a lot of people were like Zion, and people take stock in Lonzo Ball. And Brandon Ingram was like, nah, like,
this
is my team. And until, I mean, Zion's going to, like, we've seen what he can do, and he's good. But right now, Brandon Ingram's at a different level.
Yeah.
So, switching gears completely to the NFL, where the Super Bowl, the whole enchilada, gets determined Sunday night. Chiefs, Niners. Niners led by Nick Bosa and seasoned vet Richard Sherman. The Chiefs led by your resident Mahomie, Patrick Mahomes. How did the Niners get here, Grant?
The Niners, they were doubted coming into the season by many people, including you, who said they were pretenders, but
yeah,
well, I'll let you slide. Let it slide. Kyle Shanahan took over that team, had a huge victory in Week 17 at Seattle by the nose of the football to get themselves the number 1 seed. The road went through San Fran. After that, they put a beat down on the Vikings and embarrassed the Packers.
This game was over at halftime.
They took the NFC North and just said, "You're not relevant.
You're not.
This is the West. It goes through the West right now, and they're in Miami. That's really how it happened."
Yeah.
How about the Chiefs?
Chiefs, they like flew under the radar this year, and like, I get Lamar Jackson was awesome, but the fact that we didn't want any people thought the Ravens and Niners were on a crash course to the Super Bowl, and like Patrick Mahomes was like, I got something to say about that. went down 24-zip to Houston. Like, you saw it. Like, and they outscored them 51-7 after that. And then they stopped. They're the only first team in the AFC to stop the man known as Derrick Henry.
King Henry.
69 yards. I mean, still not bad, but like better than 160 he was putting up against like the Ravens. And like, they found a way to kind of stop him. And that speaks volumes to me. I mean, I don't know. They flew under the radar, and I still don't get why.
Yeah, I agree. So going into the game, there's a lot of talk about who the X factor is going to be on each team. Which player is going to step up and make the difference? Who is your X factor on the Chiefs?
I got Tyrann Mathieu. If anyone can stop George Kittle, it's him. I wouldn't say stop because they're not stopping him, but you can how long you can contain someone. And the energy he's been playing with those two games, like, guy is leading a defense that people think isn't good. Tyrann Mathieu's been a dog everywhere he's gone. In Arizona, guy was a monster. So
all the way back to LSU.
That's what I'm saying.
DBU. Wrong every week.
I got Tyrann Mathieu. I think the Chiefs defense has got to be big. It's been inconsistent. It looked better last week than it did against Houston. So we got to keep seeing progression. What about you?
Yeah.
Who's the X factor?
For the Niners, I've got Kyle Shanahan. A little off the radar, I guess. I mean, a coach, you don't usually think of them as an X factor, but he's one of the guys on this roster, or with the roster, who's been to the Super Bowl before, had a 28-3 lead against the Patriots, Tom Brady, Belichick, and he blew it. That was on him. Play calling, didn't run the ball, gave him too much time. So, gonna be interested to see if he's learned from his mistakes and if he's got to stick to his game plan, if he's gonna give it Mostert 20 carries, or if he's gonna let Jimmy G go out there and try to win it for him.
Let Jimmy G beat you.
Which I don't think he can. But when you don't have a QB that can take over a game, play calling is huge. And I just want to see what happens if they get that early lead like they did in the Super Bowl last time, if he'd run it more. But Patrick Mahomes is gunning for you, and that's just...
No lead is safe. No lead is safe.
Exactly.
So,
with all that being said, it's time for some predictions. Who will win the Super Bowl, and who is your MVP?
So, not going out on a limb at all. I got the Chiefs by a touchdown. I just think... I don't know. I've never seen a guy just run through teams like so low key, and so like I just don't think he wasn't talked about enough this year. And I don't know. I think Patty goes for 303. I think he wins Super Bowl MVP. Quite an obvious selection, but big time players make big time plays in big time games.
Yeah.
So, what about you?
I think it's going to be a close game throughout the first three quarters, but Chiefs are going to pull away, win it by 10, I think. 34-24, something in
That ball
30s to 20s, and I think that Super Bowl MVP Travis Kelce, over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he's going to have that second touchdown to ice the game, put it away, put it out of reach. Andy Reid gets his first Super Bowl. Good for him.
Before we end, it's time to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, and look ahead to the future as we go to what to watch for.
So birthdays. Happy birthday to Nolan Ryan, one of the greatest MLB pitchers of all time, who will be turning 73 tomorrow on January 31st. If you want to be an MLB player, pretty good day to have your birthday on, because Jackie Robinson and Ernie Banks would have been 101 and 89 respectively tomorrow. We also wish former cornerback Cortland Finnegan a happy birthday as he turns 36 on Sunday, February 2nd. Finnegan played in the NFL for 4 teams and had 18 career interceptions, but of course, he's most recognized for his on-field brawl with Andre Johnson. Go get him, Cortland.
Happy anniversary to the 1971 UCLA Bruins men's basketball team as they kicked off their 88-game winning streak, a record that would eventually be broken by some women's basketball team in stores, I think.
Yeah.
So, happy anniversary to Magic Johnson on this date in 1996. The man named Irvin came back and played his final year on the Lakers. And last but certainly not least, happy anniversary to Kobe Bryant on this date in 2011. He did what he did best and ripped my heart out and dropped 41 against the Boston Celtics. Rest in peace, Mamba.
Although the Super Bowl will be dictating headlines in the next coming days, there are some under-the-radar contests coming up this weekend. What are you watching for?
Dude.
Golf is typically a sport with prides itself on etiquette, but this weekend at the Waste Management Open, it's anything but. It's a chaotic, hectic, cruel environment that gets turned up to 11 on the par 3 16th, where if you don't hit the green, you're going to hear boos until you're on the 17th. So the Waste Management Open in Phoenix is something to watch for because the field's great and the atmosphere is even greater.
We had a little over-under, little Super Bowl TikTok action. Grant, what is the over-under for Jackson Mahomes' TikToks during the big dance on Sunday?
3.5 is a lot to cover, but he's gonna hit the over 1 per quarter. I think he does it.
I'm gonna tend to agree. I mean, the hype has been there this week. He's out there with Charlie. He's out there doing this thing. We love Jackson.
Yeah.
I'll take the over.
Yeah. All right, good. We're on the same page here. But unfortunately, we are out of time for today. We'll see you next week, same time, same place.
As always, folks, let's ride.